Try to remember your very first birthday. The cake, the candle, the faces leaning in to watch you. You can't. Almost no one can. Reach back far enough, and nearly your whole first 3 years are simply gone. And it isn't because nothing happened. Those were the loudest years of your life. You learned to walk, to talk. You met the people who would love you most. And almost none of it survived. Not because it wasn't recorded, but because your growing brain quietly wrote over it. It erased your first years to build the very mind that's reading these words right now. So where did your first years go? Tonight. Why can't you remember being a baby? Stop and try it honestly. Push your memory back as far as it will go. For most of us, the trail dries up somewhere around age 3. A flash, a room, a feeling, then nothing. Before that, the first 2 or 3 years is almost entirely blank. A whole person lived there. You just can't visit. Psychologists have a name for this strange erasure. They call it infantile amnesia or childhood amnesia. It's not rare. It's not a disorder. It happens to nearly everyone in every culture, and we barely ever notice the whole. Now here's the first twist. It would be easy to assume a baby's brain simply doesn't record anything yet. But that's wrong. Babies learn at a speed you will never match again. And they clearly remember. A newborn learns its mother's face and voice within days. By months old, a baby knows the sounds of its own language. They remember how to do things too, how to grasp, how to crawl, how to work a toy they saw days before. So memory is absolutely running in there, which makes the blankness even stranger. It's not that nothing was saved. The trick is that there are different kinds of memory, and they don't all fade the same way. One kind is how-to memory. Skills, riding, grasping, walking. That kind survives childhood just fine. The other kind is the story of you, the events, the moments. This happened to me on this day. Autobiographical memory. And it's that one, the story of your earliest self, that almost never makes it out alive. People have noticed this gap for a very long time. The puzzle has a surprisingly old pedigree. Over a century ago, Sigmund Freud gave the missing years their name, infantile amnesia, and called the forgetting itself remarkable. His explanations haven't aged well. But the observation was real, and it has nagged at science ever since. Because the modern puzzle is sharper than Freud's. The memories aren't hidden away, repressed in some vault. They appear to be gone. So why? Why this one stretch and no other? Here's where honesty matters. The answer is not settled. There are several leading suspects, and good scientists still argue over which one matters most. Hold them all loosely. Suspect one lives deep in the brain, a curled structure called the hippocampus, the place that files lasting memories. In a baby, it isn't finished. It's still wiring itself up, still under construction while it tries to do its job. And now ask it the way an engineer would. What happens when you try to save a file to a hard drive that's still being built? You can write to it, but the drive is rewiring its own circuits underneath you, and the rewiring keeps erasing what you just wrote. That's suspect 2, and it has a name. Neurogenesis, the furious growth of brand new brain cells in early childhood. New cells sound purely good, but every new neuron has to wedge itself into the existing wiring. And that rewiring may scramble the older records. And here's the part that genuinely unsettles researchers. In mice, slowing this growth let early memories survive, and speeding it up wipe them. Suggestive, but shown only in mice, not humans. So picture it, a recording device, laying down and pruning its own circuitry while it's trying to capture the most important footage of your life. It records, it overwrites. It records again, and overwrites that too. The footage is real. The drive just won't hold it. That's the engineer's verdict. The first years aren't forgotten because they were dull. They were sacrificed to a brain busy building itself. But the hardware story can't be the whole answer. There's a softer suspect, and it's about words. Think about how your own memories are stored. Most of them are wrapped in language, a time, a place, a little narration. A baby has none of that yet. No words to label the moment, no timeline to pin it on, no story to file it under. And here's the deeper piece. A baby doesn't yet have a steady sense of me. The self that a memory belongs to is still forming. To hold "this happened to me," you first need a me for it to happen to. Without that, there's nothing to hang the memory on. As language arrives and the self firms up, the memories start to stick, which is why the trail so often begins right around when words do. And one more strange thread: the stories your family tells you shape when your own memory seems to start. Talk to a child about their day, and earlier memories take hold. But I do remember being little, you might think. A warm scene from when you were 2 or 3. Be careful with it, especially anything from before you were 2. Many of our earliest memories aren't memories at all. They're reconstructions, built from a photograph, a story told and retold. Your mind quietly stitches the family legend into a first-person scene, and then files it as your own. It feels exactly like remembering. It isn't a lie. It's how memory works, always rebuilding, never just replaying. Even your real memories are quietly redrawn each time. And here is the contradiction at the very heart of this. Sit with it for a moment. The years you cannot remember are the years that shaped you the most, your fastest learning ever. The first bonds that built who you are, the face that taught you you were safe, the voice that taught you you were loved, the hands that caught you 1,000 times. All of it is in you, woven into how you trust, how you love, how you flinch, and not one frame of it can you consciously replay. The single most formative chapter of your life is the one chapter you will never get to read. So maybe the forgetting isn't a flaw. Maybe it's the cost of building a mind fast enough to keep up with the world. The early years weren't lost. They were spent, poured into the structure of the very self that's reading these words. So tonight, when you look at a photo of yourself as a baby, a stranger you have no memory of being, look gently. That child remembers nothing of this moment, but everything that child felt is still quietly in you. If this made you wonder, subscribe and stay curious. Sleep well. You're a little less in the dark now. I'll see you at the next Midnight Question.